You're watching the 2023 verdict here on Channels Television, and yes, we're still covering the general elections, presidential and National Assembly elections.
Have you voted? I'm just asking. And for those who haven't voted, of course, so long as the line is still open, you can still vote. And Millicent gave us that information the other time. If you have videos, pictures you want to share with us, 2023 verdict at channelstv.com. That's where to send it. It's right there on your screen.
So we're doing something different now. Mr. Ladi will be joining us soon at another time. But right now, joining us here is Babaji Dumusowo, our data specialist.
Thank you, Millicent. We're doing magic this time.
Well, I can see that. Start with the magic of IREV. I'm wondering, because unfortunately, of course, it's too late for me to register, but how far so far? Because many people would expect that by now results will start dropping, right?
So IREV was meant to be the magic portal.
Like the one you have in your hand.
IREV was the magic one. We wouldn't say it's not yet the magic one. We're still waiting for the results. And hopefully within the next 60 minutes, we will see the power of the IREV. We'll see the results start coming up. But speaking of results, there's something I'd like to share with you.
Okay.
It's exactly 9 years past half a century. On this same day in 1964, Millicent, an unknown boxer, Cassius Clay, defeated the heavyweight champion of the world, Sonny Liston. The bookmakers had predicted that Cassius Clay was not going to be able to do it. So to the Ayo, we're going to definitely make history, because the question Nigerians are asking is, will Nigeria see another heavyweight hit the canvas? And whatever scenario you look at it, just as it happened on this day in 1964, when Muhammad Ali defeated Sonny Liston, a heavyweight champion in Nigeria today will be defeated. Who will it be? Hopefully some of this analysis will give you some insights as to what exactly the results would look like.
I'm certainly looking forward to it. So can we go there?
Oh, surely.
It is similar to what our colleague said earlier about seventh, the number seven and the spiritual meaning.
Okay, so you said we want to start with Abia State, right? So
yes, we could look at all the zones. Let's look at Abia State, one of the 5 states in the southeast. What exactly is going on in Abia? Based on the reports from INEC, 1.9 million people have picked up their PVCs. All of them will be using their PVCs across 4,050 polling units. The challenge is how many of those that have collected PVCs in Abia State will come out to vote. If we look at what happened in 2019, just about 21% of those that picked up their PVCs 4 years ago came out to vote. But let's still look at what is happening in Abia in 2023. Today, where we see, what we understand by the distribution of INEC is most of those that have collected their PVCs, most of the voters in Abia live in Abia South. And so when the results from IREV starts popping out, we want to focus on what exactly is going on in Abia South, especially Ukwa West, Ukwa East, Obingwa, Aba North, Aba South. In Abia State, Abia South, that Abia South zone, across the 3 zones is where the big numbers are, followed by Abia Central. So we're looking at, as the result starts coming in, what is going on in Abia South and in Abia Central. But Millicent, apart from the current situation, we need to ask ourselves, where will all the magic take place? Let's take a look at where the magic took place in 2011.
I was also wondering what's happening in other parts.
Here are the facts. Across all of Abia, in 2011, the PDP won all the local governments in Abia State, all the local governments, scoring more than 1.1 million votes. The ACN then scored less than 5,000 votes. Again, 2011, PDP all the way, all across Abia State. But what then happened in 2015? If we take a look at the trends in 2015, same thing. PDP won all the local governments in Abia. Abia South, Abia North, everywhere was green for PDP in 2015. The APC scored less than 15,000 votes, the PDP 368,000 votes.
But it's quite significant that the number of voters dropped, right?
Yes, the number of voters dropped, and that was why, because the PVC. So the challenges we've seen is that we saw high numbers pre the permanent voter card collection. Now that we have the PVCs, we are perhaps seeing the reality of how many people are voting in the states.
In real time. And these are also figures from previous elections. It's also interesting the dynamics coming today in the elections in Abia, because they've also been experiencing some delays with voting and then insecurity.
Experiencing some delays, but when the voters do come out, you remember what happened in 2011? Remember what happened in Abia in 2015? Let's take a look at what happened in Abia 4 years ago. The APC was only able to win 2 local governments, Bende and Isokoto. So what we've seen is Abia, like most other states in the southeast, have voted PDP. In other words, if you look at the trends, since the PDP was formed, the PDP has never lost the southeast. For Abia State, it has always been PDP. Will that stay the same? We do not know. Looking at the history, we see that no one has been able to snatch PDP outside Abia State. But beyond Abia, let's take a look at another state. Let's look at what's going on in Enugu. Or we could even look at Anambra. If we look at Enugu, we could stay here on Anambra. We see that as of today, 2.6 million permanent voter cards have been picked up in Anambra. They will be used across 5,714 polling units. But where are the big numbers from Anambra? Anambra Central and Anambra South. Those are the numbers voters are waiting for. But let's look at the trends. What exactly has been going on in Anambra in the last 3 presidential cycles? 2011, you see that. PDP all the way. PDP not only did it win all of Anambra, won every local government in Anambra. Second, in 2011, was CPC, less than 5,000 votes, compared to PDP's 1.1 million votes in 2011. What happened in 2015? If we take a look at Anambra in 2015, we'll also see the trends. All local governments in 2015 went the way of only one party, PDP, scoring 660,000 votes versus APC's votes less than 20,000 in 2015. Look at what happened in Anambra in 2019. And if we keep our eyes on 2019, these are the results in Anambra. Ayo.
I'll still go back to the numbers dropping.
Yes, we've seen the numbers dropping across all states, because what had happened was the permanent voter cards, people had voted using incident forms. Now for this election, you have to have your permanent voter's card and use either your thumbprint or your fingerprint. But what we've seen in Anambra is in 2011, the PDP won all the local governments. In 2015, the PDP won all the local governments. In 2019, the PDP won all the local governments. In simple terms, it will be easier for the Pope to stop praying than for the PDP to give up Anambra State easily.
Can we say that across for Southeast as well?
And then we need to look at another state in the South. Let's look at what's going on in Enugu. In Enugu today, based on INEC's report, 1.99 million permanent voter cards, and INEC hopes that a lot of those in Enugu will vote across 4,141 polling units. Where are the big numbers from Anambra East? Anambra East is the region, is the zone where you have most of those that have registered. It's the same zone that you have most of those that have picked up their PVCs. We are looking at Nkanu, Enugu North, Enugu South, Enugu, Nkanu. Those are the numbers those that are voting in Enugu are looking out for. But more than these numbers, it is to look at again, will history repeat itself or will the trends change? Let's look at Anambra, Enugu in 2011. In 2011, again, all the local governments in Enugu went the way of one party. Let's look at 2015. In 2015, all the local governments in Enugu went to one party. Let's look at what happened in 2019. All the local governments in Enugu went to one party. Ayo, Millicent. 2015, Enugu did not surrender one local government. 2019, Enugu did not surrender one local government. So what we've seen is a trend where it has gone all to one local government in the last 12 years.
2 things you have to pay attention to as well, or speak to. In 2019, the votes of the lower party, of the second placed party, rose over the years, 2011, 2015, and 2019. And you gave the the Cassius Clay example the other time, saying that I want to believe that you are building up to that Cassius Clay moment, right?
Yes, we're building up to the Cassius Clay moment. If we look at Enugu in 2011, we see the big numbers. ACN came second, less than 2,000 votes.
Yep.
2015, APC had a bit more votes,
Yep.
PDP less votes.
Exactly.
2019, PDP 355,000 votes, APC came second, 54,000 votes. APC still had the margin, so PDP still had the margin in excess of 200,000 votes.
Yeah.
The question is, what will happen in 2022? However,
2023.
in 2023, what's going to happen and when the results start coming out? But the trend shows that Enugu East and Enugu North will determine who wins, like it has always done in Enugu, who wins this election. Don't forget.
In that state.
In that state.
Okay.
In that state. Don't forget, the trend shows one party across all local governments in the last 3 presidential elections. Another interesting state from the southeast is Ebonyi. Let's look at Ebonyi at the moment and how the distribution.
Just a moment, Jide. I was hoping that you get to that Cassius Clay moment, because obviously there is another player that seems to be playing up a lot more now, right?
There's another player that is playing up more now. But if you look at the trends,
Yeah.
the Labour Party in the last election, in all of the southeast states,
Yes.
the Labour Party scored less than 3,000 votes across the southeast. Statement of fact. Now the challenge is, will Labour Party be able to wave a magic wand to be able to move from 3,000 votes based on its candidates to hundreds of thousands of votes? That is the challenge. Will that happen? We'll have to wait for the results. We don't know. What we can only do is to look at the situation in Ebonyi today and look at what happened in the past. In the past, sometimes allows us to predict the present, or sometimes history does not repeat itself.
It's interesting that you are only staying on, we are only staying on the southeast for now, with the little time that we have, just about 3-4 minutes now to go.
And I was going to say that ABGA, I mean, where do you see, where does that play?
Yeah.
Does that play any role in this? Do you see any surprises at all?
I'll keep my personal comment and I'll just focus on the facts. Let's look at the last state in the southeast, Imo. And then we might probably be able to see if ABGA will present some surprises, or the governor of Imo State, being APC, will be able to provide some surprises. And if we keep our attention on Imo, the big numbers will be coming from Imo East, where you have 42% of the voter cards, followed by Imo West, where you have another 40% of the voter cards. In other words, between Imo East, 2.3 million PVCs. 2.3 million PVCs. In the last election, among those that collected PVCs, less than 40% came out on election day 4 years ago. Will we have more than 40% of the 2.2 million that currently hold PVCs? We're not too sure. What we know is the commission has said it is ready for people to come out to vote across 4,720 polling units. How many of those that have picked up their PVCs as at 6 p.m. have voted? We're not sure, but what we're sure about is history will not change. History will not change, the present might change. And if you look at the history of Imo in 2011, it will provide some insights to you. In 2011, PDP not only won Imo, it won across all the local governments. It spared none to competition. ACN then scored second, less than 15,000 votes compared to 1.3 million votes that was declared for the PDP in 2011. What happened in 2015? And if you look at Imo in 2015, you see Idiato South. That is the only local government that APC won. PDP still held on to all the local governments across all the zones, but the APC was able to snatch Idiato South. In all, across Imo State, PDP scored 133,000 votes compared to APC scored 133,000 votes compared to PDP's 559,000 votes. But before we close, let's look at what happened in Imo in 2019. APC had picked another local government, Oru East. Yes, the PDP still won 334,000 votes in the last election compared to APC's 140,000 votes. But what we've seen in the last 2 presidential elections in Imo is APC gaining ground. Started with Idiato South, moved to Oru East. Will APC be able to grow its market share? Will PDP win any more local governments? Will win back any of these local governments? Or will a new party spring up surprises? Ayo, don't forget, a wise man once said, sometimes what you cannot see is more important than what's in front of you. Millicent.
Wise man. What about those personal comments? We would like to hear them.
No, we'll share that. I'll share that with you because we need to go to the other zones. What exactly happened in history in the Southwest, in the South-South, and across all the northern regions? We surely need to be able to look at history, look at the present situation, and let the voters determine what is likely going to be the results when the result starts coming out.
You have to tell us that Cassius Clay moment because I'm still waiting to hear it.
Again, Cassius Clay. On this day, 1964, February 25, underrated Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, who no one felt was going to win the election, win the fight, defeated Sonny Liston, predicting a lot of people wrong. Almost everybody had predicted Sonny Liston was going to win. In this election, whatever prediction you make, one thing is for sure, one heavyweight will kick the canvas.
Okay.
Your okay doesn't sound very convincing.
We'll surely be back.
No, it's actually
we'll
a little concerning, if I can use that term, because it's not what we have seen in quite a while. But we have to thank you very much, Babajide Ogunsanwo, data analyst. Thank you so much. And
we'll be seeing more of him.
We most certainly will be
We've
seeing
only done one of 6 zones. We will have to look at all the zones. And we'll also, as the elections results come in, we need to look at each of the states. A lot of surprises. But again, I'll still be with you to share some other thoughts beyond these facts.
especially the ones you can't put on air, right?
That's true. We are here throughout the night on, you know, the minute-by-minute update on the general elections. We're going on a short break now.
Yes, we are. And when we return, there is more. Please don't go away. Stay with us for more.